All right, in today's episode, I talk about the truth about raising strong sons. Check it out now. All right, great episode. I've got two sons. My boys are teenagers, so I feel like I can speak to this topic pretty well. And I think it's so important as dads that have sons to raise strong sons. And the truth about it is society is going to make them soft, right? In general, society is going to make our sons soft. It's just the way it is, right? We've got participation trophies. We've got things that just distract them from being the best version of themselves. We've got chronic processed food that really just stacks the odds against them from being fit, healthy, and thriving in life. We've got school districts that kind of eliminate gym class. I know that's going around, things of that nature. So there are so many things stacked against our sons from becoming strong, resilient, gritty, tenacious in their lives. So it's important for us as the warrior dad for our sons to be aware of that. Number one, I mean, that's why I talked about it in the beginning of this episode, is you need to be aware of what's going on. It's so easy in life right now to be mediocre, average, and good. And 99% of society is okay with that. And if you are, hey, that's fantastic. But don't bitch, don't complain, don't play the victim in life, right? But if you want your sons to be strong, resilient, gritty, tenacious, just like I said, we've got to push them to be the best version of themselves in a couple of areas. You know, number one, I'd say physical fitness and pushing our sons physically to be strong is such an important factor. My boys have seen me work out ever since they were like 3 and 4 years old. Back when I was a former CrossFitter, they used to come to my CrossFit box and do a little class. They used to compete at CrossFit competitions. They come see their dad, throwing weight around without a shirt on. They saw an example of being strong physically. When you are strong physically, guess what happens? When you're strong physically, you actually have more confidence in life. You carry yourself a different way. Plus, when we give that love of physical fitness, even if you're not an athlete, right? Exercising, I mean, that will set our sons up to have a lifelong love of fitness, of exercising. Then they'll live a flourishing life. Then they won't get into their 60s, 70s, 80s and be so out of shape. They'll fall, something will happen. I hear it all the time from my dad, who's 78 years young. Buddies of his who, have kind of let themselves go for decades are now facing that future where they're going to pass away or they're just going to be in a wheelchair. So by raising our sons strong, being physically fit, and then encouraging that in them, so important. Just this couple days ago, I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning hitting the gym with my youngest son before school. We were both lifting weights. Powerful thing to give our kids. If we want them to be strong, they need to be strong physically. In addition, right, physical fitness and strength is fantastic there, but we also got to work on the mental side. And sometimes it is going to be painful and a painful process for us as dads, but we need to just continue to hold the line to build that mental strength in them. And what does that mean? Sometimes they're going to fail. Sometimes they're going to have setbacks. Sometimes they're going to experience pain. And we won't be able to fix it. Nor do I want you to fix it. They're going to need to feel that because I don't know about you, but I know from being in the fire and going through life, you're going to have temporary setbacks. You're going to have temporary failures. You're going to have temporary times where you feel like, how did this happen to me? And it's going to be a challenge to get off that mat. But if we teach that example, if our sons go through it, we can encourage them, we can love on them, we can support them to get back up off the mat. In addition, great way to build that resiliency and grit and toughness in our sons mentally is to share experiences when we had it happen in our life. It's one of the things I do with my boys all the time. Share, 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 and share. Why? Because then you're sharing a story. You're not telling, you're not preaching. When we share stories, hey, all right, dad's going through this. I can get through it. Right? But that mental toughness is so, so key, right? Developing strong sons physically and mentally. Third piece to the equation, I love the number 3, emotionally. We need to break the chain that men, boys, sons, dads, husbands don't show emotion. It's okay to cry. It's okay to express your emotions. It's okay to love on your family, love on your brother, love on your mother, love on your dad as a son. How do we set that example again? We set it by sharing. And we set by doing ourselves. The rub some dirt on it, tough it out mentality. Yeah, are there times where you need to do that? Absolutely. But there are times where you need to express the emotions and be emotionally available. If we set them up to do that when they're younger, guess what's going to happen in their marriage, in their relationship with their wives? They're going to be more emotionally available. I know in the beginning of my marriage, I was not very emotionally available. Much more now, as I've gone through multiple iterations of myself to dive into emotions and be okay to be a little bit vulnerable, okay to not have it all figured out. I also share that lesson with my sons. Why? They're going to have times in their lives when they're not going to have it all figured out. That's okay. Just keep moving forward. So the truth about raising strong sons, you need to focus on those 3 areas: physical, mental, emotional. Man, those are 3 powerful ways. If we lead by example as the warrior dad for our family, our kids, our boys, our sons, they will follow. And that's so, so important. I feel like that's our duty as dads to pay it forward, give those things to our sons that maybe we didn't get growing up. Right? So, so important. I appreciate you checking out this episode. Dare to be uncommon, lovely legacy, create a legendary day, and I'll talk to you soon.